How did having a mentor change your life?
No matter who you are as a human, I feel like you're not going to listen to your parents as much as you would as someone that's going to immediately show you an enlightened path on how to do things. So I got to see things done a different way. I got to see things done the old school way with a modern twist.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Millionaire in the Making podcast. My name is Gage.
Justin.
We have a very special guest here today, but before we get into that guest, I need you guys to sub to the channel. Do it right now. I'll give you a couple seconds. Time's up. Justin, what you got?
Oh, I'm going to take it a step further. You should like it and share it too. Share this to somebody who you think can benefit from this, because our numbers are actually picking up. A couple of weeks ago, we asked them to do that, and we've been going straight vertical now.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it for sure.
Oh, and also we liked how you guys are engaging in the comments more. Every time you guys ask something in the comments, we push it forward to the next guest, or we can send them a DM. All right, so today we have Keith Purdy.
What's up, guys?
Tell them a little bit about yourself. Give them a quick minute elevator pitch.
Born and bred Mississippi, moved to the beach, failed on my face many times. Now own a very successful construction company here in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores.
Okay, that's about the easiest elevator pitch we've had yet.
I mean,
Most
it's
people
straight.
just rip their whole life story after like 20 minutes, but that was...
Come on, man. 30-second sell, baby.
Respect it.
Hey, sell the sizzle.
I hear you. So what part of Mississippi?
Pascagoula, Gulf Coast.
Oh, not too far from here.
Coast trash, baby.
What brought you here?
Better beaches, better people, better opportunities.
Family here?
No.
Damn.
Any reason why you didn't pick Destin or like Panama City?
Different clientele, different people. So my dad lives in Daphne, so I've always been coming here when I was younger. So over the years of coming on, I've moved away 4 times, come back every time. So it works out well. I mean, I still have the same group of friends I've always ran with.
Okay.
Some of them are more tragic than others.
I hear you. So you're killing it now. Let's go ahead and flash way back and kind of run down the line. What were you like let's just go high school. What were you like as a high schooler? What did you want to do? Did you have any like dreams to be a doctor or a flight attendant? I don't know.
Dude, in high school, I was that quiet kid.
Yeah.
I was the kid that was like perfect A student, determined to be engineer, quiet. And then 10th grade, like halfway through, I started dating the girl that was like the cheerleader that everybody wanted to hang around, and then it just like flipped a switch. 11th grade, took over, was running with the seniors where I didn't belong. Senior year was my school. I should have been the principal.
That sounds more realistic. You said you were the quiet kid. I was like,
Yeah, should have been the principal. I remember I would skip class, like skip school completely, not class, get in my Jeep and leave and go have lunches with people that are like my dad's age.
What the hell?
And run into our superintendent like, Keith, what are you doing out of class? I'm like, what are you doing out of your office?
so where'd you go from there? Career path. You go to college? What'd
Went to
you do?
USM. Had a lot to learn. Real quick culture change. Actually, it's kind of funny. Was racing jet skis my senior year in high school. That summer, did really well. Nationals was in Nashville the first week of college. So I didn't go to school my first week of freshman year in college. Went and raced jet skis, got hurt real bad. Then came back and checked in for all my classes.
That's a thing, racing jet skis?
It is.
Yeah, man.
There's some money in it.
Like just regular old Sea-Doos? Or
No,
what?
like stand-ups, like some...
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, I was the only time in my life I had a six-pack. Because I can't even spell the word gym.
Oh, God.
What was your major?
Went in for business finance. Well, I actually went for engineering, hated it, because everything they were teaching, I was like, I can already do better. A very, very arrogant thing to think. But at the same time, I'd won 2 drafting and engineering competitions, taken my school to nationals for National History Day, like the science fair of history projects. And then I was halfway through my sophomore year in my freshman year of college.
So take us through that decision. Was it like, did your parents push it on you, or was college just your only choice, or why'd that?
To be honest with you, I didn't want to go to college. I got a full ride on academics.
So it was just like
So I said,
too
let's
good to turn
go.
down? Yeah, I hear you.
And then did well, got bored. I was 19 and then met a guy who later became my mentor, still consult with him almost every day. And he got me into the nightclub industry. He graduated, and I just kept running with him. Years later, was the owner of 2 bars.
Nightclub industry at 19?
Yeah. So I worked all the way through till I was 22. And we had a bar in Hattiesburg and a bar in New Orleans. Things were great. The opportunity presented itself because I hosted a massive Super Bowl party in New Orleans. It's for Beecher's Madhouse. He was out of Vegas. Some of the craziest things we've ever seen. Almost got in a fist fight with Shaq that night.
You think you would have won?
In my mind.
Ah, good answer.
I'd honestly sacrifice the face just to say I got in a fist fight with Shaq.
I mean, to this day, nobody believes me. He had a bodyguard that was just as big as him. He was this big German guy.
I don't know which one's scarier.
The German guy.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Shaq's a pretty friendly guy.
He's a little drunk, though. He refused to be called Shaq then. He said, my name is Dr. O'Neill. I'm like, that's different.
So that's interesting. You make pretty good money. How did that work out? How do you make money in the nightclub industry?
Man, I was doing great. Our numbers were great. We pounded them out, and I was like, I got to get out of the South. I got to do something different. So I took everything I'd made, everything I'd earned, and I sold my portion back to my mentor. And long story short, opportunity from that night on the Super Bowl party, Jeff Beecher came to me and said, I really could use you in Vegas. Because all of this was done remote, and we're talking 2013. Mm-hmm. We're like, you have, emails and a few text messages. And he was like, go recruit 30 women to do go-go dancing. I got 50 of them. He picked out 20. There were 30. Then he was like, I need a monkey. Well, I don't know if you know this. Monkeys are illegal in the state of Louisiana. I found one. It's a crazy story. And then it was like, well, we have venue issues. Our truck broke down. I got on the phone, started making calls, found the right guy to go get the trucks. So long story short, I put together a multi-million-dollar Super Bowl party in a week.
And you're not even there.
Nope.
What was the monkey for?
The monkey was on Jeff's shoulder the entire time. It was very interesting.
Are you still able to do that?
To get the monkey? I can get a monkey.
We'll talk later on that. I got a birthday party coming up.
I don't know. Poor monkey. Hey, zoo's right around the corner. So basically, long story short, everything worked out, got a job, sold everything, moved to Vegas. This is where things kind of get weird. As soon as I get to Vegas, Beecher meets me, picks me up in a limo. We go to the MGM, look at the venue. He's like, hey, man, I actually need you in L.A. I'm like, well, dude, I leased this condo here. I can't just pack up and go. He was like, well, I need you in L.A. So pack up, go to L.A. Nowhere to stay. Down to like my last $5,000. I'm like, all right, we'll figure this out. L.A.'s expensive.
I've heard.
Very.
L.A.'s very expensive. Not only was it L.A., Beecher's Madhouse in L.A. was at the Roosevelt in Hollywood. So you're running with CEOs of companies that drop $15,000, $20,000 a night on a Thursday. Doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
Because it's their daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Like family events. I'm like, I'm not going to survive here. So I was commission-based only, which I've been my entire life. He didn't pay me.
Jesus.
So I ran out of money.
At this point, was this your thing? You're like, I'm going to run with Beecher and turn into him one day, or what?
I don't know. I was feeling the waters. Well, after he didn't pay me, that was a big no-go. I had to take a Greyhound. Actually, let's back up a little bit. Ran out of money to have housing. Ended up being homeless in L.A. for about 2 weeks.
Damn. What was that like?
Eye-opening experience. I had the world stripped from me. Said, all right. I didn't call my parents. I didn't call anyone. I said, I got this.
You're out there alone, right?
I was out there by myself. Finally saved up enough money, got a Greyhound bus ticket back to Vegas. I'm like, all right, what have I always done that's made money? Bartending. You think you can just go apply for a bartending job and go to anywhere and get it? Not in Vegas. You got to have health card. Mm-hmm. You got to have a license. And they really want you to be a part of the union. I didn't know what a union was. Mm. So did all that, got a job. Month into the job, kid ends up just absolutely bashing me on Yelp because he was just a drunk, arrogant little guy. His parents were in there. He was blowing mommy and daddy's money, and I couldn't help it. Well, it must be nice with your name not being on that credit card. Boom, instantly fired.
Them Yelp reviews.
Was it worth it?
Don't play with them Yelp.
No, it wasn't worth it.
Oh, damn. I would say it's worth it.
It wasn't worth it at the time. Finally, it's kind of a crazy story. I was gambling a lot then to make ends meet. Make $200-$300, call it a wrap. There's your money for the day. Mm-hmm. Well, I was gambling on Fremont Street, and I met this guy who owned a body shop in Phoenix. So for like 4 months, they would come back to Vegas every other weekend. I'd hang out with him. We'd talk. And he was like, do you want a job? I was like, dude, I'm ready to get the fuck out of Vegas. He's like, no, I mean, you want a job? Phoenix. So they took me in, lived with them, worked for him, learned how to restore cars, learned a lot, learned how to weld, all sorts of good things. And then finally saved up enough money again. I went, I'm going home. I'm going back to the beach. At least if I'm broke and homeless there, I can be on the beach.
So you came back home. What age was that?
24.
So you were like up here when you were 19, and then you're just on your ass at 23, 22.
Pretty much. Well, up here at 20.
That is a roller coaster, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's a humbling experience.
Oh, it makes you realize, and it makes me understand the one thing in life, that no one's going to stop you. You're your own worst enemy. I mean, my mentor told me this when I was 20. He said, if you want to do something, who's stopping you? Well, you know, this, that, always making excuses. Finally, he was like, why don't you shut up and listen to me for one thing, and remember this for the rest of your life. And this is the one I remember a lot he's told me, this is the one thing that stuck harder than anything. He went, this is America. Who in the F is stopping you? No one's going to kick you in the face when you're trying to achieve your dreams except for yourself. No one's going to hold you down except for yourself. If you're making an excuse, it's an excuse, an easy way out for yourself. And he said, kid, I've seen you go from nothing to something to something to nothing. And I mean, I've lived by that since.
That's fucking awesome. So let's touch on that, because I think mentor is something that a lot of our viewers don't seem to grasp. They're all sitting there probably 19 years old, 20 years old, just like you were. And they have all these people that would be willing to be their mentor right in front of them. How did having a mentor change your life?
Well, I mean, basically, no matter who you are as a human, I feel like you're not going to listen to your parents as much as you would as someone that's going to immediately show you an enlightened path on how to do things.
100% agree. It hits different when it's not from home.
Exactly. I mean, I love my parents to death, but they're difficult. My mentor showed me the ways, because my mentor's from up north. He's from New York, born, bred, and raised, and he's a Greek. So I got to see things done a different way. I got to see things done the old school way with a modern twist. Stuff you don't get taught anywhere else in the world except from the old guys up north. So I got a different perspective than what the southern hospitalical culture is down here. And I don't think hospitalical is a word, but we just patented their trademark right there.
So were you accepting to his advice at that
100%,
time? You
100%.
were?
I mean, always buck. I mean, it's your human nature. But he refused to let me buck him off.
Sounds like a good dude.
Oh, he is.
I had the same experience when I was 19. I followed a guy around who was worth $50+ million with a notepad, and I still got the notepad to this day. Every word that came out of his mouth, writing it down. Went back and studied it. And if it wasn't for that, I would not be 1/100th of where I'm at right now.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, later on in life, I ended up becoming in really high positions in car dealerships, et cetera. And even today, I did it with my general manager, because it looks like he just closed a great deal for us. And I'm like, I was like, you talk a lot, but I need you to just break it down into one thing. The only thing stopping you as a customer is your imagination and your checkbook. We can do anything you want, but it's your imagination and checkbook that allows it. And he's like, well, it's an easy way to put it. I said, yeah, you probably said that with 5 more sentences.
Heck yeah, that's good stuff. So let's move back into your story. So you're 24, homeless to back home. What now?
Started bartending.
Bartending.
Dude, you can always go back to slinging drinks. Yeah, started bartending, met a couple cool guys. They had been in road sales for car industry for years. So they were like, man, you kill it, Martin. You do great. You'd be great in the industry. I went, bet. I can sell anything to anybody. Got a job at Tamron Honda. Hated it. But it taught me the fundamentals of how to sell cars. They screwed me out of one bonus, and I was like, all right, bye, see you. I've played this game before. Moved to Gulf Chrysler here in Foley, and the first 3 months, I got my ass handed to me. I was so mad because I wasn't number one. Then I got in the groove of my GM. He took me in under his wing. He was like, you're the only person that has the potential to see things the way I do. I was number one at that store until they fired me. So no one to this day has topped my record.
That's crazy. So how does that world work? Because you hear a lot of people making bank selling cars.
It doesn't work today like it did then, but I mean, we would just hold the gross on everyone. I mean, it's sales. Anybody can present a brochure to sell that sizzle, to make that person feel in touch with the car. Like your vet, for example. You love that thing.
Yeah, with a passion.
Now you got to take that person that walks in off the street and get that passion drawn and on fire for them.
Yeah.
You got to do it with anything. You got to do it with a Jeep Patriot.
It'll sell itself at that point.
Yeah, you're not selling the car, you're selling the experience. I used to joke with everyone, I'd be like, you come into the dealership, you hang out with me for a couple hours. My entertainment's free, but you're rewarding me with the purchase of a car. My gift to you is a new vehicle. You're buying the experience with me, not the car. People would laugh and then they'd sign the dotted line. I mean, I would go to the F&I office and like take a turn for them. I was like, hang on, I know you want this car. You want to protect your investment? I'm like, you should buy this.
So where do you learn all this about sales in general? You just had it? Something you always had?
Man, I feel like anybody can learn the fundamentals of sale. 1 through 6, A to Z. It's not hard to read a book, but having that spark, that charisma, to make it personable, to make it where it's an intimate transaction. That's something you either have or you don't. Because from when I got fired at Gulf Chrysler, I got fired from Gulf Chrysler for being too close to the GM. Like, we were like best friends. Like making cocktails every day at work. Which ultimately, well, I think they let him go, but different story.
I think it helps to sell too if you believe in the product.
Oh, 100%.
You can smell when somebody has commission breath. Like you can tell when somebody's just trying to get a paycheck out of you. But I mean, if you could go back to yourself 10 years ago and you could pitch to yourself Bitcoin, how hard would you push yourself 10 years ago?
Make myself buy it.
You would be making your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th follow-up call to yourself, and you need to have that passion behind almost everything you sell day to day. Like, you need to know that it's going to benefit the other person 10 times over. And 100%. I mean, if you can go back to yourself 10 years ago, I mean, I'd be screaming, choking myself, saying, Bitcoin,
you
go.
probably do what got kicked you off Facebook.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing today, too. I mean, most contractors don't do what we do. I follow up with a customer until they tell me to leave them alone. I mean, I'm like,
and then shoot 2 more emails.
Pretty much. I text this one customer it's not her fault we haven't closed the deal. Every week on Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Hey, checking in. Rode by your house this weekend. How's it going? She responds every time. We're not ready yet. Thanks for checking in. I'm like, how's your Mardi Gras? She's like, it's madness. But every day, follow up. And then you have those customers that literally give you the job because you're that proactive in following up and chasing them.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. They want to see someone that actually cares.
If you're that good in the follow-up, how good are you going to be in the job?
Correct.
If you can't answer a phone call, how are you going to answer my call when something goes wrong?
Well, that's the funny part. I answer the phone in a lot of situations where I probably shouldn't. My voicemail's pretty funny. All my friends make fun of it. But it pretty much says, yeah, if I didn't answer, I'm probably on a roof or tied up or something, but I'll call you back in 20 minutes, shoot you a text. And I mean, I'll answer. I'll be like hanging from some scaffolding on a swing line. I'm like, hi, it's Keith. Sorry, I'm on a roof right now. Can I call you back?
Hammering something in.
Oh, dude.
Holding off the roof. AirPod one ear. Yeah.
Always apologizing to customers for background noise. I'm like, sorry, we're cutting concrete out.
So how did you get into construction? What was I've heard your foot in the door for every other industry. When did you just get that foot in the door for construction?
So this is crazy. My dad was a contractor for years. My parents, so my grandparents on both sides built boats, big ships, forever. So we grew up in the shipping industry and never wanted anything to do with that. Didn't want to deal with a family business. My father was a contractor, did okay in life, didn't do anything really notable, unfortunately, but that was his own personal decision. And I was working at the dealership in Atlanta, was working my ass off, 14, 15 hours a day, but I was making great money. Finally, I got burned out. Took a break, and I had a guy come in 2 or 3 months before, owned a roofing company. He's like, man, I think you do great in roofing sales. I'm like, well, I would, because I already know your product. I know how a roof goes on better than you do, probably. And then, like, during the sales process of his Jeep, which I didn't even end up selling him the Jeep. The Jeep, he ended up buying the Jeep from another dealership because they were like $2,000 cheaper. It's like, I'm not budging. I don't work for free. He came to me after that in that Jeep and talked, and we sat down. I gave him his demo on the product, and then we talked about roofing the entire time. He instantly hired me. So I gave him 2 weeks. I was like, let me think about it. Gave 2-week notice at work, the cordial thing you do, and went to work for him. One hurricane. I was like, y'all don't have a fucking clue what you're doing. You don't have a clue what you're doing. I can do this 15 times better by myself. And that's how Purdy Restoration was born.
And when was this? How old were you?
That was in 2018.
2018. So you're how old now, just a preface for the viewers?
I think I'm 32.
He thinks, guys.
I was born in 1990, September. Yeah, I think it's 32.
Yeah, you're 32.
Yeah, see? Math's hard when you do that.
I'm about to be 28 myself. I was 95.
All right, so you start Purdy Restorations. What happens?
You are a business owner again at this point. Oh, you're a solo business owner.
Solo business owner, dude. I don't have any crews. I don't have anything. I got a list of potential customers. That company backed out, left me in Panama. At the time, I had a Grand Cherokee. Couldn't even pull things, put things in the vehicle. I'm like, all right, let's figure this out.
You start this in Atlanta?
No, this is Panama City.
Okay.
I was like, all right, let's figure this out. Can't be that hard. It's just another business. First thing into my mind, where am I getting the capital? I went, let's go sell a couple jobs. We'll get the deposit. Took the deposit, got a couple jobs. It went great. I said, all right, let's try it again. Got 3 or 4 guys working for me. There's 3 or 4 guys are still with me today. And we just kept growing and growing. At one point, we were doing more roofs than anybody in Panama, I feel like, because we were buying product every single day, and we had a great customer following. Jumped from roofing to small stuff like drywall, because I know how to do all this. I just didn't have the manpower to do it. Mm-hmm. Then I got hooked up with my operations manager, who to this date still works for me. And he was like, I got people, I got skills, give me a chance. That was it. We've been lighting the fire at the fuse at both ends since. I've relocated him here, bought him a house in Foley. He's happy as could be, he barely works. He just yells at Hondurans all day.
At what point, though, did you get into just full home building?
So we just got into full home building this year. We started last year, but we got into it this year. Till this podcast, nobody knows we build homes.
Hey, guys.
We build homes.
He builds homes.
Very good customer. Gave us a great opportunity. I've built homes in the past. So I know the process. It's not hard. It's just follow a set of plans, have a good idea of your product and how to put it in. And it looks like things are about to implode on us, which is a great problem.
It's a very good problem.
It's a great problem.
You seem like you're busy.
Don't sleep much. We went, this is all public record. Tax returns are, irrelevant, but we went first year by myself, we did like $200,000 in revenue.
All you?
Me and like one or 2 helpers, yeah.
Jeez.
But that's not a lot, considering roofs are, $30,000-$40,000 a piece. And that's not profit. That's just revenue.
That's rev.
Yeah, but solo.
That's still impressive for year one.
From August 18 to, January of 19 is what we did. Then we jumped it up to $620,000 in 19. 20, I broke 1.2. 21 hit 2.6 million. And then last year we did 3.1 million.
So you are 3Xing your first year, 2Xing your second year, and then 2Xing up until about 1.5Xing every year after that. You're growing at over 50% right now, which is very good numbers.
Not to brag either. I'm pretty humble about it now because it's a lot of pressure and stress. But to date, we have 2.2 million in contracts signed for this year.
3 months in.
Wait, hold on. We're in like 3 months into this too.
Yeah.
I just realized that. I was like, I thought you meant like the past calendar year. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You think you're going to hit 10?
2.5, 3 years, yes.
You think you're going to hit 10 this year?
Not this year.
You think you can?
I think in 2 years we'll start off the year at 10 signed.
Okay. So why can't you get 10? What's the problem? Not enough workers?
Well, so the thing in contracting is labor's not my issue. Got plenty of labor. I can call make one phone call, have 200 guys here tomorrow. That's easy. Building the brand and the trust in everyone around here is the hard part.
I think we can help with that.
Once you get that, I mean, just as long as you don't mess up, it's usually a slow roller coaster ride to the top.
Yeah, and you said you've been building. We talked a little bit beforehand. You said you've been building this brand word of mouth, you to the person, since you started.
We did our first marketing aside from word of mouth in 2021. I want to say it was June or July.
Okay.
And all we did was put the name of the company on the side of the trucks.
That's crazy.
Well, here's a good thing about that, because if it doesn't grow organically, it won't grow with paid advertisement.
Well, my favorite thing to hear is, hey, we see your trucks all over town. I'm like, yeah.
Thanks, gas is expensive.
I'm like, y'all want to pay some fuel bills? Diesel sucks. And then this year we did our first magazine ad, which, as we've spoken in the past, it was a big number every month, and it's worked. It's that's a huge risk for me up front, because we have a lot of revenue. We also have a bunch of overhead right now. We're a young company. We have our own trucks, all of our own equipment. Everything's got a note attached to it, so the overhead's big, but we're covering our nut plus profit, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Stay in the black. That's the name of the game right now. As long as you can stay in the black. Once you go in the red, then you sit down and start scratching your head.
Do you think you can keep doubling every year, though? At what point are you going to have like a rate of diminishing returns?
There's going to come a point where it's not going to be diminishing, but it's going to stall.
Okay.
And that's where I have to make the decision on what direction I want this company to go. Either it's going to be in the form of complete new staffing as far as management and administrative, or allowing a bigger corporation to buy us out.
If you keep growing at these numbers, why would you want somebody to buy you out? That's the thing.
Depends on how much stress I want to deal with.
Yeah,
that's a heart attack right there. I keep forgetting you're in the contract.
How's your quality of life? Are you going out to every single job? Like, how's this working?
We touch every job and personally communicate with every single customer. I do.
I don't think all contractors do that.
How long do you think you can keep doing that?
I'll never not do that.
Okay.
Never not do that.
I like that.
That is I have pride in being able to do that.
I like that.
Prime example, we quoted a job today. I went out there, and my GM has a huge landscaping background. Went out there, looked at it, met with him, took our measurements, gave him my perspective of what we should do. And on my phone, I track all of our trucks with Verizon. Well, whenever one of my trucks gets within my geofence, it alerts me. Go home real quick, change shoes, get a ding, a ping. All right, look it up. Oh, GM's right by. Let's go grab him. I go to the other job, snatch him off the job. We go right back to the customer, confirm with him one more time on what I think we should do, how much we should price it at. We give him a quote on the spot. They go, done. We can get started. Being able to do that versus everywhere I'm telling you here, we asked for a quote, we haven't got one.
That's just money that's just being burned.
To me, that's just an opportunity you threw away.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it.
If it takes you 2 weeks to get me a quote, how long is it going to take you to finish my job?
And there's so even in a situation where there's a product that we can't get, we still quote the rest of the job. That way they have a general idea. I mean, it's the same thing as selling anything. Someone walks into a dealership, wants to buy a car. Hey, I want to be at X amount a month on payment, or I want to spend this much in cash. You qualify your customer before you sell the job. Because sticker shock's a real thing. I think Justin found out about that after the hurricane.
I did.
So speaking of hurricanes, you probably, I wouldn't say love, but like hurricanes for your business.
I mean, they managed to make the numbers go up a little bit.
You know, this is a love-hate relationship in this table. It's divided down the middle. If a hurricane comes, I hate everybody in town. Hurricane comes for him, he loves everybody in town.
And the thing is, though, man, it's great because I can get back to the community. I can help people out, and I feel good about that. Because in Katrina, we lost everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, we didn't have anyone to help us. We lost everything. We were stripped of everything we had. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's nice to be able to give back. Mm-hmm. I mean, we run around tarping people's roofs for free. I don't know anybody else that does that.
Dude, people were charging $2,000 for a tarp.
Yeah, we don't do that. We ask for the opportunity to work with your insurance company and potentially do the restoration of your home. Sure, it costs me labor and tarps. But you know how many people are like, are you serious? But yes, like, I'll write this up and get your insurance company to pay me.
Yeah. People were just gouging people on
100%.
tarps. Like $2,000 a tarp is what I heard somebody paid for somebody to go up on the roof, put a tarp down just because water was pouring in the living room. I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was slinging tarps.
As you should be.
I mean,
Watch out. You may have a new job.
hey, if a hurricane comes, you might want to order 100 tarps. It might be a good business investment.
We have a warehouse full of them.
Smart.
So how's this relationship work? Like full transparency, these insurance companies are coming in almost. I mean, you hear a lot of stories of them screwing people out of money. How's this work with you guys? Is that like free money to you? Is it higher than the
nobody?
normal
I've
quote?
never met an insurance company that screwed anyone out of anything. And that's the thing. Like, either you're underinsured, you don't have the right policy, and a lot of that comes down to broker customer knowledge. If you have a broker that doesn't explain to you what you need to be covered with, that's your broker's fault. McCarran Group did as best they could, but a lot of their customers didn't know what was going on because their policies were so old. They'd had them for years, since Ivan. I mean, my fiance, same thing. She didn't have a clue. She made a flood claim and basically owed money to the insurance company because her deductible was so high. Obviously, she didn't have to pay them, but they didn't give her anything. And it's all about knowledge and experience, and that's the one thing that we offer is we're a full turnkey service. And what I mean by that, not can we start a project from start to finish and keep everything in house. We have insurance brokers, we have estimators, engineers, architects, everything humanly possible to protect the homeowner and ourselves. And 9 times out of 10, we can get you a better rate on your insurance through our insurance brokers because they care about their customer, which most people don't do.
I wish you would have had this conversation with me a week ago before I just signed over an insurance down payment yesterday.
Well, air and opportunity, brother.
Oh, well, I got you next year. I have a little sore spot for insurance companies. They still owe me it's like $600,000 from the hurricane. Yeah.
Hey, you got 5 years to litigate, from my understanding, in Alabama.
Yeah, we're slowly doing it.
Yeah. That's the thing, too. We do our own litigation in-house. We do all of our own supplementing. I've had to call 2 attorneys in my experience to help me get what we needed, and they were commercial jobs, which is a whole different monster.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, we come to terms before the claim's even filed.
All my
Not filed, before it's closed and the payment sent.
all my claims were commercial deals, so that's why it was a little bit more complicated. They were just trying to screw me.
It's very difficult in commercial. And I'll be honest with you, it took me years to get to the point. Actually, we did the math the other day. I've done over 9,000 claims.
9,000?
Between Panama City, Hurricane Michael, South Florida, and the hailstorm, and then we did some tornado claims in Dothan.
Makes sense if you do 100+ roofs in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to remember in Orange Beach, we did the same roofs twice in 6 months.
Yeah. You had the hurricane, then the hailstorm.
Then the hailstorm.
I feel bad for everybody.
God. So how many jobs can you handle at one time, like with your team? Like right now, how many you got running?
We can run 8 to 12 jobs, depending on the scopes.
Wow.
And in those scopes, I've got 3 new builds going on right now.
So 8 to 12 now. What do you think you would be running in 5 years?
20. I don't think I want to get above 20 because at 20 you lose control. You got to be able to touch them every day, or at least every other day. You got good foremen, good superintendents, they can manage it for you. But you got to know what's going on with your job, and a lot of people get disconnected from that. I don't ever want to be like that.
I respect that because what I see when you say stuff like that is it's not all about the money. It's more about keeping the business sound and running the way it should be, the way you think it should be.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is not just my future. This is Nancy's future. This is, whoever I decide to like in life's future. Because we're not having kids. Kids are $1 million a pop, easy. But at the end of the day, too, it's not just me. I've got 27 full-time employees I've got to take care of. I've got their families to support.
What's that stress like?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, there's been times we couldn't make payroll. I've had to have, my beautiful fiance's had to step in and help cover it. It's a struggle.
Been there.
Things don't go to plan in this business.
Let's touch on that because I don't know if you've watched any of our episodes. But we always ask the guests to be totally transparent with some of the downfalls they've had in business. Do you mind touching on a couple?
No, absolutely.
There's some kid on the other side of this camera who's thinking about starting a contracting.
Dude, I'll be dead honest with you right now. I got a customer I got to write a check back for $12,000. because he wasn't happy with one of the things we did. And I said, look, let's just avoid litigation. I'll give you that line item back on the scope, even though we spent thousands of dollars to get it right for you. But I would rather maintain a good relationship with you and move on.
How often does that happen? People want
It's happened once. With
one
him.
time, just him or
Just him.
overall?
Just him.
Now, was it his fault or was it your fault? Or was it one of your crew members' fault?
No, it's a combination of a little bit of miscommunication. He was a customer. He was out of state, never saw the house. So what we sold him and explained to him, he didn't really quite comprehend.
Okay.
So instead of going to battle over 10% of the job value, it's better to just cut your ties
Yeah.
and then leave a good taste in his mouth. So down the road,
Yeah.
he may be a referral.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's just better that way. Plus, it's not worth doing with the aggravation.
It's going to happen. I mean, anything could happen. One of your employees could be having a bad day. Anything could happen. It could be honestly another contractor's fault from work that was done way before you or after you.
We've run into that before. That's why remodels are such a 5-6 pick 'em on quotes. So we really pride ourselves in no change orders. The only change order we've ever given is from the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're running a remodel behind a bad contractor, you may find some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a horror film.
Can of worms.
Yeah.
When you bust open that drywall or that sheetrock, I call it a can of worms.
It's exactly what it
You
is.
better break out a whole nother checkbook, not another 1,000. Just break out a whole nother checkbook at that point.
Yep.
Do all the contractors like around here like beef? Are you cool with them all? How does that work?
Dude, all contractors talk shit about all contractors.
Yeah.
Just about. I mean, I don't. I respect everyone. I give everyone a chance. Gave a particular individual a chance last week. Didn't work out, so I got to go behind him and fix it. Is what it is. I'm not going to say his name. I talk bad about him. We move on. Just as long as the customer's happy, that's all I give a shit about. Customer's not happy, then no one's happy.
All right. So a lot of people are probably interested in contracting. I can just assume. What was the biggest bottleneck you had to overcome?
Liquidity. You want to get bigger, you better figure out a way to have liquidity.
And you just
More mouths to feed, more bills to pay, it gets tough.
Do you
And-
front the bill?
Oh,
Up
yeah.
front? You buy all the material?
We don't have
and-
any lines of credit or anything.
Okay.
So we're truly, with the exception of the payments on equipment and trucks, we're a debt-free company, which in itself is
Is that a good thing?
miraculous.
Is that a good thing, though?
As you grow, I think it's good to have leverage.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay away from it as far as possible.
You're talking to Mr. Leverage. Over
Oh,
here.
I know.
If I told you how much money I was in debt right now,
Dude,
you wouldn't be able to sleep for me.
it's just a number.
It's just a number. You
Just
know.
as long as you pay the bills.
What are they gonna do after I die? What are they gonna do?
They can't
Bring me back to life?
Yeah, they can't tax you when you go 6 feet under.
so in the beginning, I think you touched on it, but you just take a fat deposit up front essentially, and that's how you front it.
Well, it depends on the job. If it's a really, really big job, we take a certain percentage, usually a quarter or a third. And quite frankly, we just keep running. Like, we don't stop because the customer owes me money. We keep running. Because the good thing about your clientele down here is that 99.99% of them pay you when you ask. I mean, you have to build that trust with them, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we will start taking material off of a job if it's even mounted or nailed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You ever destroyed one of the jobs? Like you seen those viral videos where the contractor comes back pissed off and just
No,
Sledgehammer.
we've never done that.
Yeah, I
You
figured.
just put a lien on the property. Or you just
Never had to put a lien on property.
okay. Collections, anything?
No. We have good clientele.
Good. These are
But-
good. These are good problems.
Being what I've done in my life forever, bartending, dealing in sales, being social with people, I can read a client very, very well and get their body tone, their personality, on how they treat things. You can look at their vehicle. How well is it maintained? Their house. Do they maintain what's already there? Did they buy the house? Did they pay cash for the house? And start looking at public records. And that's how you can qualify your customer without ever speaking a word to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's critical. I mean, in this business, you have to know what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And, knock on wood, we've never had to get an attorney involved.
That's actually amazing.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Knock on that.
When you grow, though, you're going to probably have that problem.
I mean, we have attorneys on retainer
Yeah.
that watch every move we make. We have to.
Mm-hmm.
Because, at this point now, we're just a massive target. People are waiting for us to screw up.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started showing up with massive banners on Canal and Purdy Beach Boulevard on these big commercial jobs, people are like, well, what's going on? How's he getting these jobs over us? And a lot of it boils down to relationships. You know, we have the HOAs that trust us. We have the big commercial GCs that look up at us and go, hey, we trust you to do the work. We don't trust anyone else. That's huge. That's a lifelong revenue stream. I mean, at the end of the day, one storm, God forbid anybody suffers from it terribly, but one storm changes the complete perspective of my company. Like Justin, I won't sleep, but
About to say, if a storm comes, y'all are going to see a different side of Justin.
Yeah, so
you
speaking,
may not see Justin.
You might not see me. I'm going to be over in Biloxi just gambling my problems away.
so speaking on no sleep, I'm curious about your quality of life. So you obviously started making a good bit of money, but it seems like you're working your ass off. Where does the quality of life balance happen? Like, do you enjoy the life you live now, or is it like
Love my life.
You
Love what I
it?
do. Love what I do.
How does the balance work? Do you have balance at all, or is it just go mode right now?
I mean, it's always go mode. Go mode's 24/7. Had the opportunity, which was an amazing trip. Took a month off in January. Went on a cruise with some friends. Celebrated my then girlfriend's birthday. Came back 2 days. Jumped on a plane went to Italy. Spent the rest of the month in Italy. Fantastic trip. Proposed to Nancy. She said yes. Awesome. Still questionable at that point.
Shout out
So
Nancy.
went with a girlfriend, came back with a fiance, had a month off of work. Don't know anybody in the construction field that can say that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That uses, especially people that don't use subs. Ran everything from Italy. Because she would go to sleep at 1 a.m. That's when my boys are getting up going to work. And I got to be in touch. Talking to customers, shooting out bids, quoting jobs, figuring out how to cut some costs on a job from product, meeting with sales reps on Zoom. I get 2 or 3 hours of sleep. She'd wake up for breakfast, and we go eat breakfast, take over the day.
Welcome to going on vacation with an entrepreneur. Every past
Minute.
relationship who's ever done that with me, I apologize. It's 4 a.m. I'm still day trading. I'm still looking at quotes. It's, I'd be out at dinner, get an alert go off. One of my positions either hit a target or got liquidated. I feel you on that one.
Yeah, dude, I don't see how people get stranded without communication because I've always been able to talk to my people.
Well, I mean, what happens if the phone goes out? Do they crumble? Like,
Oh, I'll figure it out. We do have a backup satellite phone.
carrying a sat phone around?
Man,
Yeah.
got a carrier pigeon sending it out.
Jesus.
Just be over in the corner.
But I mean, aside from that, you take a 1 month trip. What about everyday life? You live in a good area. You can just pop on the boat whenever you want, probably. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's a good area to kind of.
I mean, and the
relax.
thing is, too, the cool thing with our customer clientele, you can go, man, look, I'll be honest with you, I need a break. I'm going to get a drink, or I'm taking the boat out. I'm going to work on your quote. I'm going to Robinson Island.
They're probably out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of our customers we hang out with. Like, we have that good a relationship with. And there's some customers where you see them out, you're like, look, I'm sorry it didn't work out. They're like, it's fine, man. Let's just have a drink. Let's kick it.
That's
We
pretty
do live in a
badass.
very good area.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: if you could have your contracting business in any area in the world, where would you have it?
I wouldn't change.
It wouldn't change. I figured that was the answer that was going to come.
I wouldn't change, man. We have great people. Our lifestyles are amazing. We have beautiful beaches. And the cool thing about down here is nothing, for the most part, nothing is cookie cutter. And I love that. I love change. I love a challenge.
Yeah.
Had a job today that 7 other marine contractors have quoted. And I'm pretty sure I got it just because of how I sold them my solution. Because no one thought about it. I'm like, well, they're playing with sticks. I'm playing with steel and concrete. It's your decision. And that changes everything. You put a better quality product. We're the only company here that has a 5-year workmanship guarantee. So for 5 years, I stand behind my product. Unless a storm hits, and whole disclaimer and disclosure.
Yeah.
But
no natural disasters. Don't go like
But
that.
what it is, it's a named storm or natural disaster, which people don't know this. Hailstorms are named.
Yeah.
If you have a named storm, we go and do an inspection. If everything checks out, warranty's still good. Cover your ass, right?
You could. So let's get into some younger entrepreneur help tips. If you could go back to yourself when you first started your company, was it 25, 26?
Something like that. I have to think. It was 19. It was February. So August of 18, I started the company. It became a legal LLC February 9th, 2019.
Okay. If you could go back to 26-year-old Keith Purdy and give yourself one bit of financial advice on how to start a construction company, what would it be?
I would find a way to mirror image what I am today.
How would you do that?
So I made a lot of money quick because of the insurance claims. And I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Spent money like crazy. Made good investments. Did well on them, mostly real estate. And I just kind of thought it was an endless pit of wealth. And knowing what I know now, shouldn't have done that.
Trust me, I feel that.
But I had a lot of fun. A
Hey,
lot of fun.
Worth it? Is it worth it?
Oh, it was worth it.
100%
That was worth it.
I got a similar story.
There's some good memories back then. But I wish I had the grind in Panama, and then I had the grind when we first moved back here. But I wish I would have held that grind because everybody gets burned out. Mm-hmm. If I would have held it, this company would be on cruise control now.
Okay.
Which it is on cruise control if I want to hover around $2.5 million a year in revenue.
We're shooting for bigger fish.
It's not enough for me.
Yeah.
And I've learned that. If you set a goal and you hit it, great. Do it again. Double it. Triple it. Keep going. Don't stop.
We just had this conversation today,
I mean,
actually.
that's funny. I mean, you can't, if you're happy with what you got, sell it off and just quit. You'll be miserable in life, I think. Or I would.
I took a year off. I retired when I was 23. And I spent the entire year riding jet skis and scuba diving, and it was fun for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And about 6 months and one day into it, I was actually depressed.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, what do you do when all the things that you dreamed of become boring?
Well, that's the thing, man. Like if you sit there and work and build up your wealth, you build up your brand, your integrity, that's you. Mm-hmm. So if you just quit doing you,
Who are you?
who are you? You know, you're like, well, you look in the mirror one day and you're like, what have I become? I'm bored. I'm miserable. I mean, there is truth to money can't buy happiness. Yes, it can buy you a jet ski. But it can't buy happiness. It's not about the money for me. I mean, everybody needs a safety net, but as long as my bills are paid, I'm cool. Now, I got some big bills, but I love the grind. I love the hustle. Mm-hmm. I love being able to make people happy. I mean, there's nothing better than when a customer goes, do what you would do. You finish the job and they're just ecstatic. Or you get text at 9, 10 o'clock at night. We absolutely love what you've done. It makes me happy.
Let's stay here for a minute. So if you had to boil it down, like what gets you up out of bed every morning? What's your why every single day?
Currently, it's my new puppy, but...
All right.
Yeah, he was late today because of the puppy. I was like, that is a valid
Yeah, I had to go
excuse.
get Brutus out. I was like, dude, Brutus has been in the cage all day since his mom went to work. I'm sorry.
That was valid. You said puppy. I was like, you handle your business. We're good.
You know, it is organic, my alarm clock now. I wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock at the latest every single day. I wake up, I meditate, I get my head right. I'm like, all right, what's today's challenge? What's going to make today better? How are we going to focus on making this grind more successful than yesterday?
But why? Why do you get up?
Because of everyone involved, man. It's not just me. It's my GM. It's my operations manager. It's all the guys. It's their families. It's the customers. It is the joy of me being able to go run heavy equipment. Fun thing if you haven't done it. It's being able to take something that you start on a piece of paper. Imagine taking this and with a few pieces of lead or a little bit of ink, turns into a $200,000 asset in a matter of a month. I mean, sure, you may not own that asset, but you built that asset. You sculpted that asset. There's nothing, it's like having a child, in my opinion. There's nothing more prideful than that. I mean, we do some pretty trick stuff. Pretty proud of what we do. Sometimes I impress myself.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You're probably the first person that's sat in this chair that's genuinely like excited about what you do every day. Like everybody likes what they do. Yeah, that's why they do what they do and make a lot of money doing it. But you're the first person that seems genuinely excited to go out there every single
100%.
day. I mean, do you
I
notice
love
that,
it.
Justin?
Yeah, I mean, your why is I like doing it rather than
I like money.
Yeah, I like money. You're just, I like doing it.
I mean, who doesn't like money? That's a scripted answer.
Money is a
Everybody likes
tool.
money.
Money is a tool.
That's all it is.
It's a tool to do whatever you want with. It's not evil, it's not good, it's not positive, it's not negative. It is a neutral tool to do whatever you want with. If you are evil, you're going to do a lot of evil things
It's a
with it.
7 on the pH scale.
Yeah, if you're going to be a wonderful person, congratulations, you're going to do wonderful things with money. If you're happy, you're going to be extra happy. If you're depressed, you're going to be extra depressed when you don't have money.
I've seen it every which way.
I mean, some of the best times of my life has been when I was really, really rich and really, really poor. It doesn't matter what's happening in my life. I am still the same person. Now, the money definitely elevates what I can do with life, but people just think money's something other than what it is. Like,
I agree with that. I mean, everybody has this false mentality that if you're rich, you'll be happy. It's not true at all. The more you grow, the more bills you got. You know, I mean, Justin can concur on this. I mean, not to say this arrogantly, but I know him and I, you know, especially him, we have bills every month that rivals people's annual income.
one of my bills, two of my bills.
And that's a lot of pressure to be able to be an entrepreneur and earn that much every year to cover that nut. I mean, that's
That
a
we got
big
people.
nut.
We have people under us too. So if I fail, the ship sinks.
And that's the thing that people don't understand.
I mean, people are like, "Yeah, you get a lot of reward from it." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm the first one going down if the ship sinks."
That's right. You got to be the captain. You got to ride it out.
There's no lifeboat for me. There's lifeboats for other people.
Dude,
I go down
can't
with the
tell
ship.
you how many times I thought we were going to be shipwrecked, and I held on and steered us out of a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just growth. It's part of it. But you have two ways at life. You have the safe route, and you have the dangerous route. Safe is easy. The American dream. Get a job, go to college, build a house, buy a house, 401k, retire. That's fine. Some people want that. I like the crooked path that has rocks and boulders and, you know, potentially maybe a dragon. I don't know. I mean, dragons could be real. You know, it's just part of it.
Come party with us for a weekend. You might see some.
Things get crazy.
All right, so I got a little question. So Justin's obviously new to this. He just got a couple employees. We have a couple employees for the team as of now. Seems like you have a good bit of employees. Is there any advice you could give to us as we start building out our team and hiring on more people?
Yes, don't trust anyone until they earn it. I've found that out the hard way. Some of the closest people that I've known for years were the ones that burned me.
That's interesting.
They burned me bad. The guys that are with me now ride around in brand new Ford trucks. And that's a huge level of trust. Now, mind you, there's trackers and cameras on everything, but I trust these guys. They have my name attached to them, essentially. Mm-hmm. Anything they do wrong, someone's calling. Happens all the time, ever like something falling out of the truck or, you know, hey, one of the latches is open on one of the boxes. But if they do something wrong, they're especially going to call.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of trust you got to build in people. Finding that trust for people not to steal from you, not to take advantage of the situation and gratitude you've given them. People not to take what you have and go and do it on their own at the cost of your cost. You know, in this business especially, people love learning the trade and thinking they can do it themselves.
Yeah, so do you make people sign anything when they come to work for you?
Man, I've learned from my mistakes, and I don't hold anybody accountable. I mean, anybody, not accountable. I hold everyone accountable. I don't hold anyone at a contract. If you want to leave, leave.
So you're saying your GM could just go undercut you and steal your client, take all the profit?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to do it regardless.
You're not going to stop him with a contract. All you do is get to take him down to court.
Which could take 2 to 3 years.
Wouldn't be worth the legal fees. Because at the end of the day, I am the company. There's a reason why it's called Purdy Restoration. Not, I saw this one today, Wildcat Construction. Badass logo, though.
I could do a lot with that.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. I was
I could do a lot with that.
But there's a reason why it's not called, you know, what was one? There was one I saw. It's just very generic. It's my name. There's an article that is in a magazine, and the editor put this in because I said it. You know, it's my name on the trucks. Mm-hmm. I take pride in my name. Purdy name's starting to get a lot of traction.
It is.
It used to be kind of bad.
So
I was known for partying.
You mentioned things that people can do bad for you, what's a tip that you can provide to everyone to stop somebody from stealing from you? One of your employees, for example. So if somebody else wants to start a construction company right now, how does somebody mitigate that risk?
I've learned in the past, because I always feel bad, because I always feel like I feel like I was showboating. It's like, all my guys see all the nice things we have, all the amenities in life, so to speak.
Yeah.
And, we travel a lot. That's Nancy and I's vice. We don't want kids because we love to travel. And I kind of feel bad. So I make sure that my guys make good, healthy margins. Well, I've learned from the past, if you start someone off at a salary they don't earn or deserve, they're never going to work hard enough to earn it. I've made that mistake.
I made that mistake too.
And I was like, I want you to live a lifestyle like me. No, you still got to earn it. And every one of our guys has gotten pay raises and increases. 2 of them drive the trucks every single day for personal and business use because they built that trust. But when I call, they're there.
Yeah.
You can't put a price on that. I mean, if I need something on a Sunday at 9 o'clock at night, they're there.
Yeah.
There's no, I will do it in the morning. No, you're coming now.
Yeah.
There's no questions asked.
Yeah.
There's no value on that. That's priceless.
Okay.
It's tough to find that.
It's very tough to find that.
Very tough to find that. I begged my GM to work for me for 2 years. He took his time on deciding. Built even more value. So you need to be with this company.
We're growing something similar right now.
It's good.
And there's a lot of trust that has to go involved.
100%.
And everybody that I'm working with right now, I'm not making sign an NDA or anything like that. It's like, if you want to screw me, you can try. Good luck. You're my competition now.
Yeah, you don't want to be my competition either.
Yeah, I'm about to say, good luck.
I mean, but the scary thing is probably the same scenario as him, right? I could look around the room, everybody on the team, and be like, I don't think anybody's going to do anything to stab me in the back. But the scary thing is they all
You
could.
never know. You never know. One of the closest people to me in my life did it. And you know what? It's going to come out in the woodwork against their favor. And it's sad that it has to be this way, but play with fire, you get burned. I mean,
About to say, do you want me as your competition? Yes or no? If you're okay with that, cool. If
it's
you're not,
funny. We
cool.
tell everyone we're expensive because of what we do and how good we are at it. People look at me like, well, you're way more than anyone else. Well, there's a reason. Go ask our previous customer. Our customer referral list is like 3 pages long.
Yeah.
I'm like, throw a dart and call one of them.
Yeah.
And the ones that do it immediately hire us. The ones that don't, the ones that go with another contractor didn't read a single page.
So talking to the young bucks, when you started out, were you lowballing to get the jobs? You had no name.
Never lowballed.
You had no name built out. How are you doing?
I
You're just
expected
selling?
perfection on every single job. I put my selling shoes on.
I don't think you want to lowball in the contracting field.
I mean, no,
That's
100%.
different.
But I'm just wondering how you got
You'd
jobs.
be
in the beginning.
amazed. There are. Here's the deal. If you want the lowest bid, we're not your contractor. We don't even want to bid it.
Yeah, but if you get the lowest bid, you get the lowest quality
Correct.
usually. And that's something you do not want in your personal home.
Well, I mean, it's like the job we bid today. I looked at the guy. I was like, you don't need to do it that way. It's going to cost you more money, but you need to do it my way. Come to find out, it was a job where you're pouring concrete and stuff. And he was like, why would you do it? So I told him, he was like, well, just so you know, I've been pouring concrete all over the world for my entire life. That's the exact way you're supposed to do it. That quality of knowing how to do it and selling that with 1, accuracy, 2, confidence, is probably how we're going to win that job.
So the guy was kind of testing you.
Pretty much.
That's a
But
good,
you don't know that.
that's a good customer.
You never know that. Oh, I know.
That's a great customer.
Because he's an engineer by trade. And I asked him, what kind of engineer are you? My dad was a contractor. Yeah, but what does that mean? So I was in the field as an engineer. So, okay, we'll work with you. If you're a paper engineer, things get a little weird.
So it seems like, just outside looking in, you're a hell of a networker.
That's how we're here right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
true.
Just saying a little something we heard you say at lunch the other day. You said you're an introvert. I'm calling bullshit.
I mean, I got the personality of a freaking, of a fox.
So I say all that to say,
But I'm tired. I don't want to be around people.
I hear you. I mean, you probably are around a lot of people, but I say all that to say a lot of the people on the other side of this camera know that they need to network their ass off to get to where they want to get. Can you give a couple tips on how you did it? How did you get to where you are today via networking?
Let me tell you this. I can boil it down to one simple thing. I did one job through a sales rep of mine sold a job. I did one job for the right customer, and it was a small job. I did everything right and perfect. I'm the only subcontractor he uses on anything roofing, and he's given us over $3 million worth of jobs from one man. And me and him have now partnered up on every new build residential job we're doing together and every commercial job on the island. We're about to take over.
Me and Justin were just talking about that. Once you get your foot in the door, just over deliver.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
You
Lead with
stay
value.
loyal. I mean, to the point where this guy trusts me enough to like help him find equipment and help him run things, and go, hey, I'm just going to give this to you because we don't have the manpower to do it, or you do this half, I'll do this half. That's huge. To have that trust, to have that 100% reliability where he knows no matter what he can call me. That it takes one customer to change your entire future.
That's golden. So how did you build up to that? Have you just always been a good networker, always been a people person in
I've
that
always been a
regard?
people person.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a funny story. I was at the Floribama. My best friend tells it better than anyone. But I was pretty drunk. It's Floribama. When we're supposed to be summer. And I was just talking to this guy about tugboats. And I don't really remember the way, but the way it's told is something about, my family's in the shipping business. I know all about tugboats. You know a lot about tugboats. Long story short, the guy walks up to my best friend's like, yeah, he's telling me he's in the shipping business. He was like, well, his family is. He said, what did he say to you? He has a tugboat company or something, I don't know. And then he like confronted me. I backed my way out of it and worked my way back into it to actually get the facts out. The guy hired me to do his remodel 3 years later because that one day he remembered that. It's just, dude, I can fit in anywhere.
I don't remember. I think the first time we met was at the Daiquiri bar, sober. The first time we met sober.
Yeah, I met you with David a few times.
But
that's
that's
running
like,
around with David Dolan's is an adventure. No
shout
matter.
out to David. He is off soaking his oats over in Europe right now.
Yeah, dude, he's following in my foot tracks. What the F, man?
Yeah. No, David's been one of my brothers for like 8 years. But yeah, let me rephrase that. The first time we sober met was at Dak Bar, I think. I remember we just hit it off, and I was like, hey, he's pretty sharp. We need to finish this conversation later on.
I mean, dude, I'm jealous. You can probably just walk up to somebody and it just clicks. I got to turn that shit on like.
Oh, dude, I can go anywhere in the world. Dude, we were in St. Thomas. Cab driver speaking straight pidgin, which is, slang. I don't know pidgin, but I can figure it out. So everyone, it's me, Connor, his girlfriend Kim, Nancy, Ken, Gary, and 2 of our other friends. And they're like, what's this guy saying? I'm like, I got this, no problem. So I just start speaking pidgin back to him. We have a full conversation. I understood every bit about what he was talking about, describing where we should go. Everyone in the cab was like, what'd y'all talk about? I was like, I know where to go for lunch now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I got this fire lunch spot. Just trust me.
It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So outside looking in, seems like everybody has their superpower. That seems to be your superpower per se, is just people.
That and the love for product knowledge. When I was in car sales, I knew more about Jeeps than the guys that built them. I know more about our product than guys with 40 years of my experience. Because I am an introvert in some degree. I go home and study. Mm-hmm. I go home and study everything we do. Like I want to be the best at a certain product. I mean, like when we met with our GAF rep, I knew a lot of stuff he was trying to teach me. Like, I actually know that, but let's dig into it a little deeper. And it's not to say you're better than anyone, but if you don't know your product, you don't know what you're doing, how are you going to sell it?
How are you going to help people?
How are you going to make sure it's done right? A very, very old and very wise general contractor his company does like $200 million a year. Mm-hmm. Told me one thing and he meant it from the heart. Keith, you're only as good as what you know in the case of if you don't know what your subcontractors are doing and how to do it right, how are you going to know if they're doing it wrong?
Yeah.
And if you think about it, I mean, you can look all over social media. They promote all these. I'll give you one. When we were in Italy, everything on social media was Italy, 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 Italy. Of course. It would be like, look at this awesome scenery in Milan. I'm like, that's definitely Venice in the picture. So they just promote these things because people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How would they? So if you told something, you told it 10 times, you're going to believe it. Doesn't matter if it's wrong or right. And that's the thing that I've had to correct with some customers, especially in like painting. Like, you were told this would work and it doesn't. And let me explain to you the actual chemistry of why it doesn't work. And they look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, I have no life.
You can't delegate something that you haven't mastered yourself.
Correct.
Or you just can keep messing things up. I think you've seen that firsthand over the past couple of months working with me. Everything that happens in my operation, I need to be able to do myself, just in case they leave or somebody's screwing me.
Well, I mean, it's a prime example of all this. I don't know how any of this works that we're doing right now.
You can figure it out, but is it worth your time?
No, it's not. But I mean, it's the same thing with marketing. I want to do this huge marketing campaign, which we're involved in. I physically, one, don't have time, nor the knowledge to do it.
Do you have the, let's say, 1,000 hours of man hours it's going to take to successfully launch that without making the mistakes? You can do it. Or you're going to make mistakes. You're going to figure it out, but you're going to bump along 100%. The path. Is that worth it? Or
I know a guy, and it's a funny story, man. He worked for a very, very big contracting company out of New Orleans. And he tells me this story. He tells it every now and then. It's pretty funny. I said, what do you want to do for this company? He said, I want to build bridges. All right, great. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to build a bridge. Well, how do you suppose you're going to do it? He said, you give me keys to a truck, a credit card, a cell phone, and a set of plans, and I'll build you a bridge. He came in Monday morning, sitting on the desk, keys to the truck, credit card, cell phone, set of plans. Took them off, said, all right, see y'all later. Got in the truck and went, shit, I've never built a bridge in my day of my life. What the hell are we going to do? He sat there and figured it out. Mm-hmm. That bridge is the one that goes over Fish River.
Damn.
Still standing. Good job.
Shout out that guy. I mean, I feel like that's a big piece, though, like when your back's against the wall.
When an entrepreneur, he jumps off of a bridge and then figures out how to build a parachute on the way down.
Pretty much.
You ever done that?
Oh, all the time. Dude, we've quoted jobs. I've lost my ass on jobs before because I quoted them wrong. Never did it again. You know, and there's stuff like, do you know this? Oh, dude, I'll give you a prime example. And I will say that I even told the contractor. This happened last week.
Okay.
Put a bid in on a big commercial government municipal job in Mobile for roofs. They wanted a certain standing seam product. It's called Pack Lock. I'm like, all right, Pack Lock's easy. 032 standing seam, aluminum, Con-R painted. That's easy. I can do that. Well, the bid was due the next morning, and I found out about it that night. Said, well, I can do this. Boom, shoot the bid in. Next morning, 7 a.m., GC calls me. Hey, man, we like your numbers, but we need you to check some stuff. I went, all right, cool. What about this? Are you doing this type of system, this mounting? What about the warranty? I'm like, dude, I didn't know any of that existed because I missed the addendum on the bid quote. Pull over my truck, jump on the computer, look it up real quick. I said, hang on, give me 20 minutes. Googled the company, called the 1-800 number, got in touch with the operations rep. He gave me the sales rep out of Georgia for the whole entire Southeast. Got the sales rep in Georgia, said, look, be honest with you, I don't know your product. I know y'all do stuff down here. Just not my cup of tea. He said, well, you got to be certified. They haven't even broke ground. I've got 6 months to figure out your product, get certified. I need to know a number per square. He gave me a number. He told me the warranty cost, told me what we have to do. He said, if you pull this off, I will personally come down there and help you.
That's fucking awesome.
Turned the bid in on time before 8 a.m. Contractor called me back after the bid and went, I can't believe you pulled that off. I went, dude, I don't know how to fail.
I love that. I love that. I mean, just the type of people who would just say, I'll just fucking figure it out. I'll figure it out. Let me do it. I'll figure it out.
Figure it out. That. It's going to be a bumpy road.
But some people got it, some people don't. Like, not trying to. There's somebody that I know, and we were talking about it the other day, and it's just like, you can't handhold everybody till the day they die. You just can't handhold them on every situation. And I'm literally like, giving them the solution, giving them the solution. Like, you got to figure this out on your own. I'm not doing this for you. You just keep giving it to them. And just, it's I just noticed that last week that not everybody can just figure it out.
That is my biggest flaw as a business owner, expecting the people that work in management to do that.
Dude, I mean,
That's my biggest
we've
flaw.
learned this firsthand because I did what was called I call it a 6-month run, where I tell everybody in the group, look, I'm going on a 6-month run where I'm going to double the quality of my life. I'm going to make twice as much money. I'm going to work twice as hard. I'm going to give it 110%. Like there's 18 hours a day, 19 hours a day, whatever it takes. The only other guy that I've found that can do this is sitting across the table.
Yeah.
Every single other person in the group is like, no, I didn't. Like, no. Like running probably a fourth of our pace. And that is beautiful that they can run a fourth
That's
of our
their pace.
That is wonderful that they can do that. That's twice as much as the average person.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that everybody's built for it. And God, who would want to do this also?
Oh, dude, I mean,
You gotta be a
asked me
psychopath.
You asked me about quality of life. I mean, I really haven't spent time with my fiance until for 2.5 weeks till yesterday. Because not only do we have all of these new builds going on, do we have all these projects, all these restorations, all these roofs. I've got 3 properties I've got to develop for myself. So I'm doing that in my free time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, running the bulldozer till 9 o'clock at night till I just can't see. Wait, go home, get on the computer, start running bids, start making sure all my quotas are in line, check the books, deal with any customers that I have to deal with. Eat, go to sleep, wake up at 3, start all over.
So help a brother out. How do you manage that? Because I'm going through the same problem with my girl, right? I'm here 18,
Figure it
18
out.
19 hours a day, and she's at
Yeah.
home like, yo, where you at? I'm like, this is what's got to happen for a while.
You find a partner that's willing to understand it, accept it, because at the end of the day, it's their life too. That's critical. I mean, she doesn't like it. But, you know, she'll say it, you know, I miss you. I'm not mad at you for working. That's strong. She doesn't complain about it. I mean, she will say, you know, I wish you would take some time for me, which is 100%
Viable.
viable.
Respectable.
She earns the right to say that.
Yeah.
And things don't always go to plan. You know, I mean, it's...
Have you tried to get her more involved in the business to help and
I
spend
have.
more time with
It's
you?
not that she doesn't want to learn about it. She doesn't have time to learn because this is her time. She's a bartender at the Gulf. You know, she kills it.
Yeah.
She makes a great living.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was 30 years old, she built her house from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting on a mountain of equity because we have a house in Terry Cove.
Yeah.
And you said she was with you from the start. They helped you pay payroll, everything? At one time, was that different?
Oh,
different
yeah.
girl?
Oh,
That's her?
yeah. She's dipped into her savings to make it happen before.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's respect right
I
there.
mean, dude, we've had customers bounce $100,000 checks. You want to talk about a wake-up call? The day your account goes into the negative, you know, negative 70 grand.
Let's hit some hot points real quick. What's the most stressful moment you've had in your contracting business?
Most stressful. Oh, that's a tough one.
Get another question ready. Let's fire.
Yeah, I'll
some
think
real
about
quick.
that
Let's
one.
fire.
Most stressful is when we thought we had a hurricane coming. And I had 14 open projects on the book. The labor wasn't the issue. It was how are we going to have the liquidity to handle another storm? Because the storm hits, you might as well take $1 million and throw it in the air. It's
Yep.
gone. Takes you 2 years to catch every dollar.
Was it
Takes
going to come back double, though?
Takes another 2 years to catch the profit off of that.
From the insurance.
Jesus. So, yeah, so insurance is, I guess, a fun game. That's
High
that's
risk,
rough.
high reward.
Yeah, damn. You got one. Let's rattle some questions off. Quick ones. Stressful.
Answer C.
Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
2 years, having to make a hard financial decision, sell the company, a bigger corporation, or truly open up administrative and management, payroll being $1 million a year.
Is there a number for that company sale?
15, I'd walk away, no questions asked.
Then what?
I'd just start developing my own property. That'd be it.
Next, do you want to help the younger generation?
I do. Funny story. My soon-to-be niece texted me yesterday saying Uncle Keith, which I thought was cool. She wants money for a cheerleading competition. I'm like, bet. I'm going to make her write an essay on what cheerleading is going to do to benefit her. and how it's going to make her go farther in life before I give her $1.
She plugs it into Chat GPT and just runs it over right on you.
I don't even know what that is, but I feel like I should.
Oh, okay. Remind me after this.
We don't need to do this on the podcast.
I'm about to change your whole
Y'all
world.
cheated
when we
in
get done with this.
school, I can see.
Oh, 100%. Oh, I cheated even before Chat GPT. I paid other people to do my work for me.
Oh, I did that in English.
But I'm gonna cut your brain power in half before you leave this house.
It's at like 33% right now. So.
Or I'm gonna give you a lot more bandwidth to use now. Okay. So next one. If you could change one thing about your life right now, what would it be?
Maybe a little more free time's about it. Pretty happy.
Okay. How are you gonna buy more free time?
You can't buy free time. You earn free time. Big difference.
How are you gonna earn more free time?
Get things on a cruise control level where I'm comfortable walking away with it, which we're almost there.
Okay.
Almost there. But you earn happiness. You don't buy it. It's a big difference.
What are you investing money in right now?
Dirt. Dirt's the greatest asset in the world.
Land?
Yes, sir.
Good answer.
Dirt's the only thing you need to throw money at. It's guaranteed to go up in value.
How do you feel about crypto?
Don't know it, don't understand it, don't need to know it, don't care.
Good answer.
Like that. You stay away from stuff you don't know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't have time to learn or want to learn it. I know the value in other things that are more prevalent. Because I'm in a situation y'all aren't. I can buy a parcel, develop it, and double my money in 6 months.
Can't do that with Bitcoin easily.
And so
Can't do that with anything.
That's what you were saying, right? Sell and then get into that game?
Mm-hmm. Because if you can make, in my opinion, and Justin may argue with this somewhat, if you can double your money on a real estate investment in less than a year, I think that's better than the long-term game.
Or
here we go.
Or you do a cash out refinance, and now you're in it for the short and the long.
True, it depends on what you're doing though. So in my case, I'm building houses.
Yeah.
So you're doing long-term rentals. So you.
Yeah, but if you can cash out your equity, and now you have a long-term rental and a fat sack of cash.
After you factor. After your leverage point and you factor your profit, amortize that for what it's going to take for the initial, let's say $300K profit versus making $1,000 a month. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, but if you got a lump sum equity pull out, then you got 50, 60K, 70K in the bank instead of walking away with maybe 100.
Well, it's
Happy medium.
If you
Happy
walk away
medium.
with 100, it's not worth it.
Yeah, happy medium.
It's not worth it.
No, there's. I get what your point is.
There's a profile line. You got to figure out where you want to land.
I get what your point is. It just depends. Are you very, very comfortable with the amount of money in your bank account? If you are, you're playing the long game. If you need equity right now, playing the long game, it's going to be hard.
Very much
You need to be grabbing for equity like you're drowning.
And that's where I am. For me, the liquidity is key. Because if 3 parcels come up for $80K a piece, I need to be able to struck a check in 2 days.
Yeah.
And then I have to be able to fund the utilities out of pocket and to be able to do the site work, architects, all the development.
Yeah.
Culverts for our 2 properties in Gulf Shores are $12,000. That's just the pipe.
Yeah.
That's a number I wasn't expecting at the first start of this.
And I was developing a RV park in Foley, and just the topography survey was like $33,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's add this to the list. And
I've got crayons. I can draw them out.
before I can even break dirt, I'm like 100K in the hole.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, all right.
I got one for you. We're looking at a property. I don't want to say anything, but we're looking at a property we're going to try to do a 90-day due diligence on. We'll be 100K in due diligence.
I believe that.
Jesus.
Just due diligence.
Yeah.
To make sure that we can do what we want to do before we make that big of a lump sum investment.
Just a survey alone could cost you. Well, topography, if you need a topography.
Delineations, topography, surveys, engineered.
Perk test,
everything,
probably.
Everything. Geotape, board, everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'll be a fun
And that's if one thing goes wrong and they don't want to play, and they don't want to play fair ball with you, and they don't want to budge a little bit, you're out. You don't get that back.
High risk, big reward.
I love when people used to come to me in real estate and they'd be like, "Hey, I want something that's high reward, low risk." I was like, "Go buy a lottery ticket." I don't know. Find that unicorn in the woods and cut its horn off.
Dad, can I get a quarter scratch?
Yeah, when you find that, let me know.
All right, we're going to round this out. If you guys want Keith to get back on here and you guys want to ask him some questions, comment down below. I'm telling you, we've probably got about 1/10 of what we could have gotten out of him in the past hour.
100%. We probably just scratched the surface. But before we forget, give your pitch on what your business does, like what you touch on commercial, residential, just so we have it. Just before I forget, it just popped in my mind.
So Purdy Restoration is a one-stop shop for anything to do with construction, from new development, site work, land management, single-family, residential, multifamily, all the way up to big commercial complexes. We touch some of the biggest condos down here. We hang out with the beach and the mice. At the same time, we'll redo your bathroom tile.
Boom.
I mean, we don't use any subs except for our mechanicals, which is plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Everything's in-house. Very hard to come across. I personally can do every one of the trades, which makes it better. So, we have an unlimited job scope, and that's tough to come by.
100%. And if they want to find you, where can they find you?
So you can look us up on Facebook, Purdy Restoration, purdyresto.com, plain and simple. At any given moment, you can usually go outside and sit on Canal Road or 161 and see one of our trucks ride by.
Fair enough.
If they're driving bad, don't call me. It's not my problem.
All right. Now, Justin, you want to round it out with I know what you got to say.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this to somebody who you know is going to need it. And, I like this idea. We're actually going to take that and chop that up and put that at the beginning of the video.
100%. That's why we ran it, guys. We'll catch y'all in the next one. If you want to hit up Keith, you know where to find him. Justin, you guys already know where we are. We'll catch y'all in the next one.
Link
Peace.
below.